Good evening. Thank you for appearing at this 49th annual Arnold M. Dubin Labor Education Center banquet. Next year's going to be a big one, but this is far exceeding our expectations, and we're thrilled with the availability and appearance of President Weingarten. In keeping with our mission of supporting workers and their unions and community members as they pursue fairness in the future, the Labor Education Center has created a podcast, which we did in 2022 called Southcoast Working. I think you see it up there. And you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and others. And its creation was through the generous support of the Dubin family, Arnold Dubin's kids, Faith, Stephen, and his grandson, Isaac. We're very much hopeful that Southcoast Working will fill a regional vacuum, along with the public's radio, when it comes to stories about workers and the labor movement. We need it more than ever, I think you would admit. We've had great guests like Reverend Barber, the Attorney General of Massachusetts, Andrea Campbell, and my favorite, Steve Tolman, among others. And we've had great student involvement, both with the production of the podcast as well as with their own stories, which is an important feature of the labor education's work. Shortly, you'll hear about the newest episode, which is heavily involves students with my colleague Camilo Viveras. We're all about receiving suggestions for ideas for episodes, and we hope you'll share ideas with us and definitely listen up. And hopefully you can get that QR code and log on. Finally, we just wanted to take a minute. You noticed on your way in that there are some panels in the back describing the history and life of Frances Perkins. Frances Perkins is someone that a lot of people don't know, and that's a crime. She was the country's first woman cabinet member, serving for the entire 12 years of Franklin Roosevelt's administration. She's widely recognized as the force behind Social Security, the Fair Labor Standards Act, Unemployment Insurance, Minimum Wage, the National Labor Relations Act, as the only woman in the room. And there is literally a book with that title. And most of the good things that came out of the New Deal had their origins in Frances Perkins' work. An extremely important person. But Frances Perkins was actually born in Massachusetts. She went to Mount Holyoke College. But the one site that was a lifelong refuge for her during her life was the family homestead in Newcastle, Maine. A national campaign is underway to request that President Biden establish the Frances Perkins Homestead as a national monument. The effort has the support of the AFL-CIO, many of its affiliates, and we hope that you'll take a minute. There's a Q code card on your tables. If you could maybe scan that code and sign the petition to urge the President, now with the few weeks that he has remaining, to designate the Frances Perkins Center as a national monument. It'll be a much-deserved honor for a woman whose legacy has been a lifeline for millions of Americans, a cause well worth doing, and especially today. Thank you very much.